President-elect Dr. William Samoei Ruto should be handed over the instruments of power not later than 2 p.m. Tuesday during the inauguration ceremony. This is according to the Constitution that stipulates that the ceremony will be conducted between 10 a.m. in the morning and 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And as Kamche Menza reports, there will be another handover ceremony at State House, where outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta will welcome Ruto to occupy the most coveted house on Kenyan soil.
I, William Samoei Ruto.
Tuesday, 13th September 2022 is set to mark the end of an era and the beginning of yet another epoch. Kenyans are anxiously waiting for this historic event. This will be the third democratic transfer of power event in the country since independence.
Mkuu wa majeshi amemkabidhi Rais Mwai Kibaki.
The first one was in 2002 when the second president of Kenya, the late President Daniel Moi, handed over to the late President Mwai Kibaki. And the second one was in 2013 when Kibaki handed over the instruments of power to Uhuru Kenyatta. The process in the upcoming event is expected to be similar to that of 2013. According to the assumption of Office of President Committee, the process cannot be done later than 2 p.m.
As per the law, this must take place any time between the hours 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.
From as early as 4 a.m. on Tuesday, the gates at the Moi International Sports Center Kasarani inauguration venue will be open to the public, who, together with other guests, are expected to be all seated by 10 a.m. According to a tentative program, service commanders will arrive at the venue at 10:30 a.m. Chief Justice Martha Koome, Judiciary Chief Registrar Ann Amadi, and Supreme Court judges are expected to arrive at 10:45 a.m. Chief of Defense Forces General Robert Kibochi arrives at the venue at 11 a.m. and 15 minutes later, heads of state and government will make their way to the venue. The Deputy President-elect Rigathi Gachagua, accompanied by his wife Dorcas Wanjiku, will enter the venue at 11:35 a.m., just 5 minutes ahead of the President-elect Dr. William Ruto, accompanied by his wife Rachel Ruto. And as the head of public service and chair of Assumption of Office of the President Committee, Joseph Kinyua, receives them, the state motorcade will be leaving State House for Kasarani, set to arrive at 11:45 a.m. Just as was the case in 2013, the outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta will be received by the Chief of Defense Forces, General Robert Kibochi, who will escort him to the ceremonial vehicle and onto the ceremonial dais. The national anthem and that of the East African community will be sung before Uhuru is escorted to inspect the guard of honor adorned in ceremonial attire. Once done, he will proceed to the presidential dais.
I shall now be administered the oath of
At 12 noon, the administration of oaths by the judiciary to the president-elect commences, with Chief Registrar of the Judiciary Ann Amadi taking her position at the inauguration dais before inviting Chief Justice Martha Koome. The Chief Justice is the one who will introduce the president-elect to the nation and invite him to the inauguration dais.
The President-elect shall take the oath of office as administered by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary before Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice.
One is the oath of allegiance of the President, which is pledging allegiance to the Constitution, and the other is the oath of due execution of office, which is solemn affirmation of due execution of the office of President.
Constitution.
In accordance with this Constitution.
As by law established.
As by law established.
And the laws of Kenya.
And the laws of Kenya.
Without fear.
Without fear.
Favor.
Favor.
Affection.
Affection.
Or ill will.
Or ill will.
So help me God.
So help me God.
While at the inauguration dais, President-elect will sign the certificate of inauguration in the presence of the Chief Justice. At this point, the Chief Justice will introduce the incoming president to the nation and present a set of oath of allegiance, oath of due execution of office of the president, and the certificate of inauguration to the incoming president.
And I invite the Honorable Chief Justice to witness.
A similar administration of oaths process will be undertaken for the Deputy President-elect, Rigathi Gachagua. A ceremonial photo session for the incoming president and his deputy president will then be held, where the outgoing president will be invited to the dais as the incoming deputy president takes his seat at the VVIP dais. The presence of the outgoing president at the inauguration dais signals the beginning of the handing over of the instruments of power and authority. The CJ will lead the process, where outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta will hand over the instruments of power to incoming President Dr. William Ruto. They include the Chief in Commander's ceremonial sword and the Constitution. Uhuru will then confer the award of Chief of the Order of the Golden Ear, CGH, to incoming President William Ruto, which will then be followed by fanfare, where clergy will perform a ceremonial prayer and the national anthem, during which Uhuru's presidential standard will be lowered as Ruto's is hoisted simultaneously. A 21-gun salute will follow. Then Uhuru will be given his presidential standard by General Kibochi. The guard of honor marches off. This will be followed by the speeches. The outgoing president will then depart for State House. President William Ruto will then be escorted to the ceremonial vehicle by General Kibochi before he departs for State House. At State House, the outgoing President Uhuru Kenyatta and former First Lady Margaret Kenyatta will receive President Dr. William Ruto and the First Lady Rachel Ruto at State House, Nairobi. Kamche Menza for Prime Edition.